Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. And in this video we will talk more about Dart. And in this video we'll talk about first of all functions. What are function, because we were not able to cover that in our last video. So let's talk about functions. So basically, before proceeding to that, let me tell you that Dart is a true object oriented programming language. That means that everything is object in Dart. So basically, if we talk about functions, then functions are also objects and they also have a type. Okay, this is the first thing. Okay, so what that means is that functions can be assigned to variables or passed as an argument to another functions. Okay, so you can also call an instance of a Dart class as it is like a function. Okay, so let's see. This is our main method, and here if I want to implement a function, how I will do that and when I will do that. Okay, that is the first question. So let's say I am saying here print Google is amazing, let's say. Okay, I'm printing Google made Android, although it didn't made Android, but let's say that print Google made Dart. Okay, then let's say print Google made Flutter. Okay, so if you see here, then we have a lot of junk code, you can say. A lot of printing is going on, and this main method should not be like there should not be a lot of boilerplate code. And if you want to do something with these print statements, because you don't want to show all of the code inside your main method, otherwise it will be very difficult to read, difficult to understand everything. So we are talking about Google. Okay, so that Google is amazing, Google made Android, Google made Dart. So we can make a function, let's say void Google detail. Okay, Google details. Okay, let's make a function Google details, and here we can just cut this code from here and paste it here. Okay, so this is a function Google details. And how we write a function? Function starts with a return type, which is void, which means that it does not return anything. Returning means that let's take an example. I am giving you something. Okay, I am calling you, I am saying, hey X, come here, and I want you to return me something, like I want a response from you. Okay, so let's say there are two kind of scenario. Let's say I am saying to you, hey X, please go to the shop. Okay, that means I don't want anything from your side. I just made a statement and you can go and do anything you want. And the another thing is, let's say I am saying, hey X, come here. That means I want your response. I want you to come and talk to me. That means you are returning something to me. I know that is a very bad example, but this is how it works. Okay, so this is the function where we are printing the Google details. So here, rather than printing all the statements, I can just call Google details, and I don't want it to return anything. Okay, now let's just run this application. Let's just clear it and run it, and here you can see everything is printed like it would be happening in this similar fashion if we write the code in main function. So this is a function. Okay, and it starts with a return type, then the name of the function, then this brackets, and these brackets actually mean that you can include parameters inside a function, and then this curly braces to start the function. Okay, so this is one thing. Now let's say we want to return something. Okay, so let's say after printing all of this stuff, we are saying that return done. Okay, so this is basically returning a string which is done. So we can change the void to string because it is returning string. Okay, so it is returning done, and here I will save a variable as, which means that when calling this function, if it will return something, then that something will be assigned to this s. Okay, and now I can print s. Okay, so let's say print s. Now I will run this code again, and here you can see at the end we have this done. Okay, so that is how we return to functions. We could use like let's say we want to return 1 because it is like it is done, so we could return int and then we could print it as 1. Okay, so this is all our choice. This is just a very simple example. And apart from that, these you can say these functions can have parameters as well. Okay, so let's just delete this function and let's make another function. So we can say a function which is, let's say it has void mobile details. Okay, so I am saying that for let's use for in an item in items, we want to print these items. Okay, so we will print these items. So what is happening here, we are saying that we have these items which is undefined as of now, and we want to print all the mobile details. Okay, so what I will include here, I will include a list here which will say it is a type of string. It takes as a generic this is strings and items. Okay, so what I am going to pass here in the main method, I will say that go to mobile details. Okay, here we want to make a list, new list we can say, or we can say we want to pass a mobile will have what, a RAM. Okay, let's say a display. Okay, a processor. Okay, and we can say apart from that what a phone has, like we have a RAM, we have a processor, we have a battery. Okay, so that's enough. So we are calling this mobile details with these parameters. This is a list which has a set of strings, like this is a RAM and everything, and here in the method we are printing all those stuff by using for each loop. Okay, so we will clear the console first, and now let's execute it, and you can see RAM, display, processor, battery. Okay, so this is how you pass the parameter. Okay, that's correct. So now let's say we also want to include the price. Okay, so rather than displaying it here, we are saying if not if, let's just print the price, or we can say price is, and we will use the dollar sign and we will pass the price. And let's say the price is into double, so we are printing this here as double. Okay, and we can say price. Okay, so now we will pass the price here, let's say 299.0. okay, so let's run this, and here you can see price is 299.0. but now we will talk about something which is optional parameters. We can have optional parameters here, and let's say these are first of all optional oppositional parameters. So suppose we don't want to disclose the price, so what we will do, we will use this square brackets here with the price, and now we can skip this. So if I will not provide the price, then also it will not give me any error, and we can here check that if price is not equal to null, okay, then only we want to print this. Okay, so we are doing a lot of things here, so that so if price is not null, then only it will print it. Let me clear the console, and now let's run this, and here you can see it displayed RAM, display, processor and battery, but not the price, because price is as of now null and we are not passing it, and it is optional. Now let's say we will pass the price as suppose 12200.99, let's say, and now if we just run this, and you can see price is 1200.99 also. So this is optional parameters. There's one more thing which is the optional named parameters, okay, which is another type of you can say parameters you can pass. So we can enclose all of this inside this curly braces, and now we can remove this and this also. Now we have this thing. Now we need to mention here the name of which parameter I am passing. Suppose I will just change this order. I will remove this 1200.99 from here, and I will paste it here before this list. So earlier it was not possible, but now it is possible. As of now it is giving me an error because I need to specify the name of that argument. So I will say price, if you will see here, price, and now it will take the price, okay. And if we will talk about this, then it will ask me for the items. If I see here, then it should be asking me for items, and then it will work. Now if I will run this code again, then you can see that the output is same. In fact, we have also changed the order. Now let's just delete this part, okay, just delete it. And now also you can see that this is playing as an optional. Now also if I will run this, then also it is work like it. So it means that it also manage that optional part for us, okay. So that is about functions, okay. This is the more or less everything is included in that. There is nothing else it will ask you to do. Now let me just say that if I want to calculate this price by, let's say I just calculate this price somehow and return the price. So I will return 1299.00, let's say. So I need to make this word to integer, not integer, it is a double because we are using decimal numbers, and then we can get the price from here like this, and now we can print this price, okay. So it will perform the same thing. So this is how you will return the any particular data which you want to return. So I will clear it, and now I will run it, and you can see the same output. So this is about functions, guys. Now let's talk about classes, okay. That is the most important thing, because in Flutter we are making lots of classes, and we need to understand what a class is. So basically as we know that Dart is an object oriented programming language, so it is it is having classes and inheritance, so it covers all those stuff. So every object is an instance of a class, okay. And what are classes? So basically it is like a blueprint, okay. So you can say, suppose I am talking about a person, okay. So person itself is a class. We all know that a person has some properties, like it will have he or she will have a name, an age, you can say an occupation, and everything. So that is, we know that, so person is a class, and what will be object? The instance of this classes, which means that if you take any example of person, suppose you talk about me, so Pawan Kumar is a person, that means Pawan Kumar is an object of the class person. And if you take another example, suppose some other guy or a girl, maybe you can take the example of someone like suppose Brett Lee. So Brett Lee is a person, okay. So we talk about let's say we are saying about Donald Trump, so he is also a person, so he is also an object. So we all are objects of the class person, okay. So that is class and objects, okay. So basically every class is a blueprint, and then when we make something out of that blueprint, that is an object. So every object is an instance of a class. So that is all about functions, okay. And to create this object we use a new keyword, okay, with a constructor of a class. Constructor is basically where we do initialization of a class, like when I will born, okay. So after bond, I will be given my name and I will have my age and everything. So that bond, or you can say initialization process, is called constructor. Okay, which means it is constructing that object. Okay, so it is just a theoretical way of saying, but let's make a class now. So we will use this word class, and then the name of the class, let's say it is a person, because I am explaining in terms of person. Now what it will have, let's say it will have a name, so we will say string name. Okay, so one more thing, now let's talk about something other than class, which is this underscore. Okay, so in Dart you don't have public or private or protected. Okay, you have this if you are using a variable name with this underscore in the beginning, that means it is a private field. Okay, so it in class we these things are known as instance variables. Okay, when you make a static variable, then it is known as class variable. So I'll talk about statics as well. So as of now, you have to remember that in Dart, if anything starts from this underscore, that means it is a private. That means that it this field having no access outside of this class. Okay, if it is a public field, then any other class or method can access it by using the object of this class. Okay, so this is our string name. Let's go back to the class. So we have the name, we can have an integer of age, let's say, because it is not going to be dual. If you haven't heard anyone having age 5.5 years, you can say that, but typically it is like 10 years, 12 years, 15 years, 20 years, similar like that. Okay, so we have age, let's make it a private field as well. Okay, now let's say this person has name, age. We can say this person also have let's say occupation. Okay, now we can also consider that this person have let's say any other thing we want to say, let's say married or not. So we can take a boolean, let's say married. So we don't know whether he is married or not. Okay, so this is our class person. Now in Dart, the beauty of Dart is that you can have a constructor like this, which I am going to explain. So we will say person. Okay, this is the constructor. And in other programming language, how we initialize this, so we can say here that this constructor takes few arguments, like say string name, comma, int age. Okay, and then we could say this dot name is equal to this name. So we use this to represent our class variables, oh sorry, instance variables, not class variables. So we use this to refer to our instance variables. So that means that if the names are same, then there should not be any conflict. Like we are passing the underscore name in the parameter as well in the constructor. So that can be like, if I will write this like this, so there is a little bit confusion which name is what, right? So we can use this dot underscore name is equal to name, and this dot age is equal to age. Now this is the normal way of writing this in any programming language, but in Dart you don't have to write like this. It can be much easier, because Dart knows that this is the approach people follow, and this is something which everyone uses. So what you can do, you can skip all of this, you can close the parenthesis, you can put a semicolon, and here you can initialize everyone by calling this dot, suppose name, comma, this dot age, this dot occupation, and this dot married. So this is my constructor of this class person. Okay, that is fine, everything is fine. Now let's go back here, and we will make an object of this class. So we can say where p is equal to new. We use new keyword to make an object of the class. but in Dart 2 they have eliminated this new keyword, so you can use the it directly like this. Let me just delete it. In Dart 2 you can use like this, but in Dart 1 it is like same with the new keyword, and this is right now it is good. So we need to pass this name, age and everything. So I will pass the name as, let's say, Pawan. I will pass the age, let's say 23. I will pass the occupation as, suppose, software developer. Okay, and I will pass the married as let's say false. So that means you are single. Okay, now we have this person. Okay, now I want to print the P only P. Let's see what I will get. Okay, so now let's run this code and let's see what we get. So we have got this instance of person, which means this object is been created, and we have got this P is an instance of person class. Okay, that means this P is an object. Now if you want to print out of this, so you can say P dot name. Will it print it? So let's see. So if I will try to do that, then you can see P dot name is Pawan. Okay, now let's say I want to fetch P dot age, occupation. So everything you can fetch from here. And now if I will check its runtime type, so again we will get person. Okay, so it is of type person. So it is explicitly you have made a type. Okay, so this is, guys, about classes. So this is just a normal introduction about classes. We have seen how to, how can we declare the instance variable. We can also have instance methods, like we can make a method here, let's say void, okay, and do let's say my work. Okay, so in the my work method, this is instance method, so we can say I develop apps. Okay, so now I have created the object of this class. Now I can say P dot my work. So what it will do, it will go to my work, and this is saying argument I void can't be assigned to the parameter type object, and blah blah blah. That is fine. That does not make any problem. So let's run it, and we can see I develop apps, and then we have this null. Why this null is, I don't know. Oh, we are showing it in this is the problem now. So we will delete this. So this should now work. P dot my work, we will call P dot my work, and then it will let's run it again. I develop apps. Okay, so this is how you